King
Ba!
Dos!
of the Philippines.
Hi everyone, I am 𝕸𝔸𝕄𝕚 from the team 𝕸𝔸𝕐𝕸𝕝. So this time I will going to discuss to you the Interpol, the mission of it, and the strategic priorities. So let's start with the Interpol. So Interpol, world's largest international police organization. So meaning ito po yung may pinakamalawak na organisasyon ng international police. And then the Interpol conceptualized in 1920s. Ito po ay tinatawag noon na International Police Commission hanggang ngayon. In 1955, the number affiliated countries from 19 to 55. And then in 2004, the number affiliated countries increases, mas tumaas po siya into 181. As of 2012, the number of affiliated countries in 190. As of 2020, the number of member countries in 194. So sa Interpol po, may kauna-unahang pong presidente na Pilipino sa Interpol. Siya po ay si 𝕸𝕐𝕚𝕚 noong 1981 hanggang 1984. So punta naman po tayo sa mission nito. Mission: to be a whole world preeminent police organization in support of all organizations, authorities, and services whose mission in preventing, detecting, and suppressing crime. Meaning, ito po ang upang maging isang mangunguna sa buong mundo sa police organisasyon, mga otoridad at serbisyo na mayroong mission sa pag-iimplementa, pagtuklas, at para mapigilan ang krimen. Meron po itong 3 core services. Unahin po natin yung a unique global police communication system. And then next, a range of criminal databases and analytical services. Proactive support for police operations throughout the world. Major decisions on policy, budget, working methods, finances, and programs of activities are made by General Assembly, which meets annually. Each member country maintains NCB or National Central Bureau. It is financed by annual contributions of each member country calculated in sliding scale according to GNP. So ito po.
So hello guys, for today's video I'll be discussing you about the history of Interpol. Saan ba nagmula ang Interpol at kailan ito tinalaga? In 1914, the idea of Interpol was born in Monaco at the first International Criminal Police Congress in 14 to 18 April of 1914. Officials from 24 countries discussed cooperation of solving crimes, identification, techniques, and extradition. So guys, ang Interpol ay unang nabuo noong 1914, which is nagtipon-tipon ang mga iba't ibang tagapagpatupad ng batas at mga kinatawan nito. Kabilang na dito ang 24 na bansa na kung saan pinag-usapan nila ang mga iba't ibang estratehiya and paraan upang maresolba ang mga krimen. And in 1923, after the World War, the idea of an international police body was revived by Jonas Scover, president of the Vienna Police. The International Criminal Police Commission was established in September 1923 with headquarters in Vienna. Wanted persons notice were first published in the International Police Safety Journal So guys, ang Interpol ay ang samahang kilala na ngayon ay Interpol ay official na itinalaga noong 1923 sa headquarters ng Vienna Police.
Next ay name and logo. Nandito yung official name and abbreviation. Sabi dito, the organizational official name is ICPO Interpol. The official abbreviation ICPO. Ang ibig sabihin ng ICPO ay International Criminal Police Organization. Tapos in French, this is OIPC, which stand for Organizational Internationale de Police Criminal. Ang word Interpol naman ay contradiction of international police and was chosen in 1946 as a telegraphic address. Tapos until 1956, the organization was known as the International Criminal Police Commission. Tapos sunod dyan ay yung logo, the logo. The logo is used since 1950. Comprises the following element. Itong logo daw ay ginagamit pa simula noong 1950. Tapos dito, meron akong ginuhit dito na logo. Ito po siya. Tapos sabi dito, representation of the globe to indicate the Interpol activities and are worldwide. Dito po, dito sa gitna. Itong globo daw ay ini-indicate nito ang mga activities. Ay sinasabi na ang Interpol, ang activities ng Interpol ay worldwide. Tapos olive branches either side of the globe are symbolize peace. Ito po yung mga olive branches na nakalagay dito sa both side ng globe ay represent as ay symbolize as peace. Tapos the name Interpol below the globe is the center of the olive branches. Dito po siya. Tapos a vertical sword behind the globe symbolizing police action. Itong sword daw po ay sinisimbolo niya yung police action. The abbreviation OICP and ICPO above the globe either side of the sword. Dito sa taas. Tapos the scale below the olive branches symbolize justice. Itong dalawang ito symbolize justice. Na dapat ang hustisya ay pantay. Tapos next ay flag. The flag has been used since 1950. Sabay po silang na ginamit sa logo. Tapos it has a light blue background. Meron po siyang kulay light blue na background. Tapos the logo is in the centre. Ito po siya. Dito po linagay yung logo sa sentro po ng flag. Tapos the four lightning flashes arranged symmetrically around the emblem symbolize the telecommunication and speed in police action. Itong apat naman po na lightning dito sa side by side niya, sinisimbolize daw niya na ang the telecommunication and speed of police action. ang aksyon daw po ng Interpol ay simbilis ng kidlat.
Protection of Interpol's distinctive signs. As an international organization, Interpol's distinctive signs are protected by the 1883 Paris Convention for the Protection of Industrial Property. Itong convention na to is one of the first intellectual property treaties and establish a union for the protection of industrial property. And under sa Article 6 sa nasabing convention, that which has been ratified by the majority of Interpol's member countries ay dapat signatory countries have agreed to refuse to register as trademarks and ban the use of coat of arms, flags, emblems, initials, and names of states and intergovernmental organization. So, lahat naman yata ng mga organization ay if or meron silang ipapatupad or meron silang ilalagay na idea or patakaran ay mapag-usapan nila muna bago nila ito i-implement, di ba? And the organization's logo and the name Interpol have in addition been registered as European Community and US trademarks. Authorization to use Interpol's distinctive signs. Na the organization may authorize a third party to use its distinctive signs. And in any event, authorization to use the organization's distinctive signs is limited daw. And authorization is given for a specific identified project. The duration of authorization is specified. Authorization does not confer any exclusive rights. The signs may not be modified or adapted, and where appropriate, the media, documents, films, and many more must be submitted to the organization for approval before publication. Interpol may automatically revoke the entitlement to use its distinctive signs if it transpires that the project is likely to prejudice its reputation or image.
Priorities. Interpol has amended the strategic frameworks for the years 2011-2013 during the 81st session of the General Assembly 2012 to provide and exchange focus and effective direction for the programs and activities during this period. Within this framework, the essential version was approved by General Assembly in November 2010. We have defined our strategic priorities and 2 cooperation priorities. These priorities are in the line the organization's vision and mission and reflect the dynamic environment and challenge the international policing in 21st century.
So, sunod po natin ang strategic priorities. Meron po tayong 4 na strategic priorities. Una po ang Secure Global Communication System. Ikalawa, 24/7 support to policing and law enforcement. Ikatlo, capacity building. And lastly, assisting member countries in the identification of crimes and criminals. So, unahin po natin i-discuss yung Secure Global Communication System. So, ito po ang nagpapatakbo ng ligtas na pandaigdigang komunikasyon ng pulisya at sistema ng suporta. Kinikilala po ito bilang isang I-24/7 na nag-uugnay sa lahat ng 190 National Central Bureaus kasama ang iba pang mga otorisadong ahensya na nagpapatupad ng batas at mga kasosyo na pinayayagang silang agad na ma-access, humiling at magsumite ng mahalagang data. So ito po ay committed sa paggawa ng Interpol tools at services more efficient at epektibo over next 3 years. We will achieve this through a number of objectives and activities. For example po, by enhancing the infrastructure of I-24/7, continuing to expand the system beyond NCB or National Central Bureaus and to officers in the field, and by better integrating the sharing of data between Interpol and other systems. So, next, number 2, 24/7 support to policing and law enforcement. Ito naman po yung nagbibigay ng suporta sa buong oras at malawak na saklaw ng tulong sa pagpapatakbo mga kasaping bansa kabilang mga emerhensya at tugon sa krisis na nakapagtuon upang higit na mapagbuti ang pag-follow up ng mga oras ng pagtugon at ang isinamang katangian ng isang tugon. So ito po ay objectives and activities ang pinofokusan around work of our Command and Coordination Center. The development of new investigative expertise and the deployment of teams specialized in incident response, secure issues of major events, and identification of disasters victims. Next, sunod po natin yung capacity building. So, yung capacity building po, ito po ay nakatuon sa pagpapahusay ng mga tool at serbisyo na ibinibigay sa larangan ng pagsasanay sa pagpapatupad ng batas at upang itaas ang mga pamantayan sa international na patakaran at infrastruktura ng seguridad ay makikipagtulungan sa mga kasosyo at stakeholder upang mabuo ang kakayahan ng mga serbisyong pulisya sa mga nabigyan ng kapangyarihan sila upang maisagot ang epektibo ang mga hamon ng transnational crime. So, sa ikatlo po, over the next 3 years, we will work to leverage current resources in our member countries, implement new training programs, build partnerships internationally with the public and private sectors to deliver training and technical assistance, and work with member countries to develop common standards and recognize best practice Interpol websites. So next, lastly, the assisting member countries in the identification of crimes and criminals. Sa assisting member countries in the identification of crimes, criminals, ito po ay nagbibigay ng pinakamataas na kalidad ng mga serbisyo sa database na may kakayahang analytical at iba pang mga makabagong tool upang makatulong na mapigilan ang krimen na hangarin higit sa mapabuti ang mga database ng impormasyon sa kriminal at mas mahusay na suportahan ang kanilang pagsasama kasama ang mga pamamaraan ng pag-aaral na pansaliksik. So, objectives and activities will center on improving the quality and quantity of information in our databases. So, providing operational and specialized investigative support, developing a global approach to integrated border management, and building robust cybercrime support to member countries in cooperation with international stakeholders. So sila po yung mga kumikita sa mga biktima ng bullying, like sa bullying na sa cybercrime, most especially sa social media. So ito po yung assisting member countries in the identification of crimes and criminals. So hi everyone, punta na naman po tayo sa corporate priorities. So, unahin po natin yung ensure organizational health and sustainability. So, ano nga ba ang ensure organizational health and sustainability? Ito po yung nagpapatibay ng kanilang pangunahing infrastruktura na nagpapabuti ng kanilang modelo at negosyo at nakikipag-usap sa kanilang pangmatagalang kaugnayan sa mga tuntunin ng pamumuno at suporta ng patakaran at pagpapatupad ng batas. So, ito po yung nagpapalakas sa mga business infrastructures at nagde-deliver ng suporta sa mechanism in order to ensure efficient delivery in of our core products or services. Other objective po nito will focus sa human resources at staff well-being, communication strategies, and building support of our strategic priorities. So yun po yung ensure organizational health and sustainability. Next, punta naman po tayo sa institutional and legal support. So ito po yung kinikilala ang kahalagahan ng mahusay na mekanismo na nagpamamahala sa pangangailangan na paunlarin ang madiskarteng at panghiyograpiyang pag-abot para sa samahan at upang mahahanap ng mga makabagong solusyon upang umakna sa mga pundasyon ng Interpol. So, ito po yung institutional na nag-e-effort sa pamimigay ng suporta by solid legal foundations. So, ito po yung sila po ay nakafocus sa efforts ng enhancing the legal stability at foundation for international activities, including ensure compliance with Interpol, syempre, rules and regulations. Next, one of the overriding consideration is to enhance the organization's neutrality and independence.
They also established the strategic framework 2017 to 2022 is our roadmap to achieving their 5 key goals. The first one is serve as the worldwide information hub for law enforcement cooperation. From the word serve, hindi lamang isang bansa ang serve nila, kundi worldwide information hub for law enforcement cooperation. And dito ay nag-exchange sila ng police information lies at the core of our mandate, and we connect the national central bureaus of our member countries via our secure community channels. And sabi pa rito ay there are currently 70 million records in our databases. Police worldwide conduct 4.6 billion searches per year, equivalent to 170 queries per second, with a response time of 0.5 seconds for a hit. Imagine, 90 million records and 4.6 billion searches per year. Grabe. Yung every second pala is dami ng mga record na nakakompile or nakikita. The second is deliver state-of-the-art policing capabilities that support member countries to fight and prevent transnational crimes. So, dito naman is from the word deliver is dito ay tumutulong yung isang bansa sa kapwa bansa na kasapi sa Interpol to prevent transnational crimes. The third is lead globally innovative approaches to policing. Dito is innovation is at the core of our working culture. As the leader in global law enforcement, we focus on future trends and strategic foresight, providing a forum to challenge the status quo of law enforcement and generate innovative ideas. From the word generate innovative ideas. Sa pagkakaalam ko ay every year or generation to generation ay nag-iiba or lumalawak naman yung mga teknolohiya, yung economics or iba pa. Yung strategy ng Interpol ay nakikisakay or nakikiuso rin upang yung mga cases, yung mga dapat nilang gawin ay magawa nila ng maayos at mas malawak pa yung kaalaman nila. And number 4 is maximize Interpol's role within the global security agriculture. Yung maximize, di ba? And Operation Opson is an annual collaboration between Interpol and Europol. Diba? Meron silang programa ni Interpol and ni Europol, which brings total police, customs, and national food regulatory authorized to remove counterfeit and substandard food and drinks from the market. And Project 𝕿𝕠 is implemented in partnership within the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime and Transparency International. It aims to strengthen criminal investigation and criminal justice cooperation. And ang panghuli ay consolidate resources and governance structures for enhanced operational performance. We continue to modernize. Yung sabi ko nga kanina is hindi naman yung dating ginagawa nila or strategy nila ay yun pa din. They need to modernize sa mga structure and processes to ensure the efficient and effective delivery of our capabilities and services, di ba? And we offer a continued commitment to transparency and oversight through robust monitoring and evaluation mechanism. And our human resources strategy is committed to training and skills development, enhancing leadership capabilities, and sourcing the most effective talent for our future. So, sabi ko nga kanina is dapat mapalawak or pinapalawak nila yung mga kaalaman nila, strategy, mga processes, at dapat i-modernize nila upang, sabi ko nga, is enhancing or yung mga capabilities and sourcing para maging effective sa susunod na generation.
Next ay yung areas of forensic expertise. Una ay disaster victim identification o DVI. The process of identifying victims of major disaster such as terrorist attack or earthquake is rarely possible by visual recognition. Sabi dito, ito yung proseso sa pag-identify sa mga naging biktima ng mga kalunos-lunos na trahedya tulad ng pag-atake ng mga terorista, lindol, at pagbaha. Tapos, comparison of fingerprints, dental records, or DNA sample with one stored in databases or taken from victims' personal effect are often required to obtain a conclusive identification. Ito man, ang pagkukumpara ng mga fingerprint, dental record, o DNA sample na nanggaling sa mga biktima na required to gain a conclusive identification. Tapos next ay yung international coordination. When a major disaster occurs, one country alone may not have sufficient resources to deal with mass casualties. Dito naman ay, for example, yung Pilipinas ay binaha. Tapos sufficient. One country alone may not have sufficient resources to make casualty. Tapos na ba yung Pilipinas, tapos hindi na kayang suportahan ng Pilipinas pa, kaya dito sa international coordination nakiko-coordinate yung ibang bansa. Tapos a coordinated effort by the international community can significantly speed up the victim recovery and identification process, enabling victims' families to begin the healing process and societies to rebuild, and in the event of terrorist incident. Example naman dito yung pagbaha. Siyempre pag bumaha, madaming nasasalanta. Tapos kaya doon, pag hindi kaya ng Pilipinas na suportahan, yun, tumutulong ang ibang bansa sa atin para mapadali ang pag-rebuild o pag-recovered ng mga nasalanta. Tapos next ay arrange support. Member countries can call on Interpol for assistance in disaster victim identification o DVI immediately in the aftermath of the disaster. These services offered by Interpol include downloadable DVI guide, tapos assistance from the Command and Coordination Centre of the Interpol General Secretariat in Lyon, France, to send message between national central bureaus 24 hours a day in Arabic, French, or Spanish. An incident response team to provide further assistance upon request, just as on-site investigative support or connection to Interpol's database. Tapos meron ditong multi-dimensional approach. Interpol's DVI activities are supported by a steering group and a standing committee on disaster victim identification, both of which are made up of forensic and police experts. The steering group formulates Interpol DVI policy and strategic planning, while the standing committee meets regularly to discuss improvements to procedures and standards in DVI matters. Sa video naman dito ay Interpol DVI activities ay sinusuportahan ng steering groups at standing committee on disaster victim identification. Tapos both of which are made up of forensic and police expert. Ang steering group ay gumagawa ng Interpol DVI policy at strategic planning, habang ang standing committee naman ay nag-meet upang pag-usapan kung paano ma-improve at kung ano-ano yung mga naging improvement at standard in DVI matters. Tapos policies and guidelines have been produced in the following areas are backed up by training programs. So ito yung mga covered: victim care and family support, occupational care for DVI teams, compliance with international standard and forensic quality assurance controls, tapos information sharing and exchange, tapos operational assistance to countries which lack DVI capacity. Tapos ang ikalawa namang areas of forensic exercise ay ang DNA. DNA means 𝕸oxyribonucleic acid. Molecules contain the information all living cells in the human body need to function. Alam naman natin siguro itong DNA kasi matagal na natin itong naririnig, tulad ng yung mga batang ay single mom, tapos sinasabi nila na yung sa lalaki ay siya ang tatay. For example, si Maria, nabuntis si Maria, tapos ang tinuturo niyang nakabuntis sa kanya ay si Pedro, pero si Pedro naman ay hindi niya ito inaako, kaya yun, hinihintay nila na si Maria ay manganak. Tapos pag nanganak na si Maria, pinadi-DNA nila yung bata, kukuha sila ng buhok o mga dugo, ganon, tapos kukuha din sila kay Pedro, tapos ititest nila kung magkapareho. Yun, doon nila mapapatunayan ang totoo. Tapos, the role of DNA in solving crime. DNA profiling can play a crucial role in solving crime as it has the potential to link a series of crimes and or to place a suspect at the scene of a crime. Just as importantly, DNA can help to prove a suspect's innocence. The first step in obtaining DNA profiles for comparison is the collection of sample from the crime scene and reference sample from suspects. Samples are commonly obtained from blood, hair, or body fluids. The rule of DNA in solving crime naman ay, sabi dito, the first step, for example, ay may naganap na saksakan tapos merong napatay. Tapos hindi nila alam kung sinong nakagawa. Kaya yun, pag may nakita silang mga dugo o di kaya ay mga buhok na nandun sa crime scene, kukunin nila yung mga yun, tapos ititest nila tapos doon nila malalaman kung sino ba talaga ang may gawa. Tapos using forensic science method, the sample is analyzed, resulting in a DNA profile that can be compared against other DNA profiles within a database. This creates the opportunity to hit person to scene or person to person matches where no previous connection was known. Yung sabi ko nga kanina doon sa yung example ko sa DNA, sabi niya dito person to person matches, yun yung bata, tapos kukuha sila sa kay Pedro ng mga buhok o dugo, tapos kukuha rin sila sa bata, tapos titest nila yon, tapos pag i-match nila kung magkapareho ba yung resulta. Next ay data protection. Interpol serve only as the conduit from the sharing and comparison of information. We do not keep any nominal data linking of DNA profile to any individual. Ang data protection naman ay, for example, yung isang tao na nagpa-DNA ay nalaman nila na meron itong sakit. For example, ay meron siyang mga HIV, mga ganon. Nalaman nila. Kaya yun, dapat hindi nila ito pwedeng ipagkalat. Dapat sila lang ang nakakaalam. Dito naman sa promoting standards, ethical and best practice ay nagko-collaborate yung mga iba't ibang bansa upang mag-share sila o di kaya ay mag-exchange sila ng mga ideas at kung paano nila mapapalago o di kaya ay pag-usapan kung paano ma-improve ang kanilang mga bansa at kung paano mas lalong maiwasan ang crime. Tapos next naman ay yung connecting crime through DNA. Matches in the Interpol DNA database help connect a number of crime and individuals in the period from 2005 to 2008, leading to the identification and arrest the 3 members of the organized gang known as Pink Panther. Itong ginatawag na Pink Panther ay mga magnanakaw ito. Meron silang ninanakawan na 20 countries. International sila na magnanakaw, di ba? Napaka-astig. Siguro ang yaman ng mga Pink Panthers na ito. Tapos nahuli yung tatlong members nila dahil sa DNA. Siguro merong mga buhok o di kaya ay mga body liquid na nakita doon sa gumawa nila ng krimen. Tapos DNA samples recovered from crime scene in France Liechtenstein, Switzerland, and United Arab Emirates, revealing between three different types of crime: armed robbery, prison escape, and the use of for travel documents, and between group of individual. Tapos, this case show clearly the way that different crime types overlap and affect multiple countries.
The number 3 of areas of forensic expertise is fingerprint. Alam naman natin ang fingerprint is very unique. Yung, for example, is yung magkambal. Yeah, yes, magkapareho sila physically, but yung fingerprint nila is magkaiba. And fingerprint evidence plays a crucial role in criminal investigations, di ba? Napaka-importante yung fingerprint sa mga investigators. And fingerprints play an equal important role in identifying victims following a disaster such as cyclone, earthquake, bombing, or other attack. And Interpol's fingerprints database. At Interpol, we manage a database of fingerprints containing more than 151,000 fingerprints, records, and more than 5,000 crime scene marks, di ba? Ang dami nun. And authorized users in member countries can view, submit, and cross-check records using 1 to 24/7 Interpol Secure Global Police Communication Network via a user-friendly automatic fingerprint identification system or AFIS. So, ang mga law enforcement officers can take fingerprints using electronic device and can also the manual. And Interpol General Secretaries to be uploaded to the database. Yon. And innovation. Interpol implemented in 2010 a new AFIS which is capable for searching and finding palm prints and talent palm marks. Automated 10 print verification has been introduced along with a high volume search facility that allows more than 1,000 comparisons per day against the Interpol fingerprints database.
Okay guys, for today's video, I'll be discussing you the factors in facial identification. Ano nga ba yung nakakapekto sa pag-identify ng isang pagkilala sa isang mukha or sa isang tato? First, unlike fingerprints and DNA, which do not change during a person's life, facial recognition has to take into account different factors such as aging, plastic surgery, cosmetic, effects of drug abuse, smoking, pose of the subject. Dito, di gaya ng fingerprints at DNA, hindi nag-iiba habang buhay. Pero ang facial recognition ng isang tao ay paiba-iba. Dahil dito sa pagtanda, plastic surgery, retoke, and cosmetics, at yun na rin ang paninigarilyo at drug abuse. Working with good quality images is also crucial. Low or medium quality image may be not researchable in the IFRS system, and if the accuracy of the search and result themselves can be significantly affected. And nakaka-apekto rin sa pag-search sa IFRS yung low quality and medium quality na images, kasi hindi nito masa-search yung nasa-search o walang totoo kung ito ay low quality. First, how does it work? Paano nga ba gumagana ito? When a facial proof image is entered to the system, it automatically encoded by the algorithm and compared to the profiles already stored in the system. This is the result in candidate list with the most likely matches. We always carry out manual process. We call this face identification to verify the result of the automated system. Qualified and experienced Interpol officers examine the images carefully to find unique characteristics that can lead to one of the following results: potential candidate, no candidate, or inclusive. This information is then passed on to the countries that provide the image and to those who would be concerned by the profile or match. All informs is handled in line Interpol's rules of processing data. So paano nga ba gumagana ito? Ito, may machine silang kung saan pinapasok na lang yung image, then automatic itong mag-encode and mare-recognize ito, and papakita yung pagkakapareho ng search, at pwede itong mag-call sa candidate or sa no candidate or inclusive. And then meron din silang manual na ginagawa, which is yung mano-mano na proseso, which yung mga officers na eksperto at dalubhasa ang gagawa nito sa pag-verify ng natapos ng na-encode ng system. Okay, ano yun naman yung cross-checking with Interpol notice. All faces, images in notice and diffusion requested by member countries are searched and stored in the face recognition system, provide they meet and strict quality criteria needed to recognition. So yung mga nakuhang images guys na i-stored yun sa system, which is magagamit na naman nila pag may nasa-search pa. Member countries can also request a search only in the face system, for example to carry out check out a person of interest to airport or another border crossing. The result of return quickly to enable immediately follow-up action in images not to recorded in system. Bringing experts together. Ano ba ang bringing experts together? From the word itself, bringing and experts. Yung pinagtitipon-tipon lahat ng eksperto at mga dalubhasa dito sa pag-recognize ng pagkilala. As this computerized biometric comparison technology is still the infancy in most countries, standards and best practices are still in the process of being created, and Interpol is contributing to this. So guys, yung lahat ng country ay under development pa lang ng mga ito, yung mga biometric computerized. Held every 2 years, Interpol's International Fingerprints and Face Symposium provides opportunity for experts from around the world share best practice and latest development. So every 2 years ang Interpol gaganap sila ng International Fingerprints and Face Symposium, which is dito nagtipon-tipon ng mga dalubhasa and mga eksperto sa mga kanilang developments and practices. We also host meetings on the Face Expert Working Group twice a year. This is Interpol Advisory Group for New Technology Identification Procedures, Training Needs, and for processing official documents to assist member countries in this field. The expert group produced a best practice guide for the quality, format, transmission of facial images to promote accurate and effective recognition. We strongly encourage our member countries to use the facial recognition service and follow the recommendation. And ito naman yung ano ba ang ginagamit na lengguwahe ng mga Interpol. Interpol working languages, yung SAFE na tinatawag. S for Spanish, A for Arabic, F for French, and E for English.
Type of notice of Interpol. First, red notice. Example of red notice: to seek the arrest or provision arrest of wanted person with a view extradition. Second, yellow notice. Example of yellow notice is to help locate missing person, often minors or to help identify person who unable to identify themselves. Third, green notice. Example of green notice is to warn about a person criminal activities if the person is considered to be possible threat to public safety. Fourth, orange notice. Example of orange notice is to warn the event, a person, to object, or a process representing an implement threat and danger to person or property. Fifth, notice. Blue notice. Example of the blue notice is to locate identification or obtain information on a person of interest in a criminal investigation. 6. Notice. Black notice. Black notice. Example of black notice to seek information on identified bodies. 7. Notice. Purple notice. The purple notice. Example of purple notice is to provide information on modus operandi, objective device, and consistent methods using criminals. The last notice is the Interpol United Nations Security Council Special Notice. Example of Interpol United Nations Security Council Special Notice is the issued for individuals and entities of are subject to UN sanction.